Hello, my name is Mary Esther Gilbert. I am a nutritional physiologist and holistic nutritional healing specialist. And I have been putting together videos to answer health questions regarding people's nutritional health problems. So another question came up, and tonight I will be talking about the botanicals in the APL products that are known to either destroy cancer cells or improve the immune system to enable it to recognize cancer cells, invasive cells that don't belong in the body, specific growths, things like that. I happen to be the author of the APL Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide, and I spent 17 months researching all of the botanicals in the formulations so that people would understand what exactly these health attributes or health benefits that are contained in these plants. So tonight I would like to show you how sometimes I arrive at which formulations to suggest to people. Now, I'm not a medical doctor and I don't treat, diagnose, or anything like that, but I have 40 years experience and 3 degrees, and I had my own practice in Northern California, but I retired 10 years ago. But I haven't really retired. I've been developing courses and putting out articles and answering questions for people when questions come up about their nutritional health. So tonight I will talk about the different formulations that I went into the book. Now this is a 531-page book that, like I said, took me 17 months to write and research. And I was very meticulous and very diligent. I wanted to be sure that people understood the real science behind these botanicals and why the drops are so effective. So there's going to be a little bit of a physiology lesson that I have to throw in there just to give you a good understanding as to why the drops work so well. But in the meantime, I'm going to go straight to the answer to the question of what happens when someone has an abnormal growth in the brain or a tumor growing in the brain. And so someone who looks for alternatives or augmenting surgery or whatnot that's coming up for them, or whatever the case may be, I just wanted to show you what the botanicals do for the body and how I arrived at which formulations I thought would be appropriate to supplement along with the medical protocol. So nutritional health is extremely important. You have to realize what's going on inside your multiple trillions of cells and even more biochemical processes that are going on every single moment of your life to keep you alive. The body has a system of priorities, and the first priority, of course, are the vital organs, the brain, the heart, the kidneys, things like that. So knowing how the body works and understanding what you need to put into your body to help it function properly and restore itself back to the correct biochemical balance. And so that's called the homeostasis balance. So your body's always trying to go back to homeostasis, which is the optimal functioning operations that are going on inside your trillions of cells. So, with that in mind, know that plants are also highly compatible. Their DNA, their ability to produce proteins and fats and sugars are very, very similar to our own cells. Once we take in food, that's exactly what our cells do. They reproduce themselves, and they generate many types of thousands of proteins, thousands of hormones, and they communicate, all the different systems communicate together. But when there's a malfunction, especially when the immune system doesn't know to destroy anything that's foreign, such as abnormal cells that are starting to grow in the body. Now, there are a lot of reasons for these types of growths to occur, and it takes a lot of diving into the scientific literature to see how that works, how that mechanism works, and what can go wrong. So there are literally thousands of scientific journals and even more scientific papers that have been archived in these journals. And you can find these at the National Institutes of Health, all these government websites that archive all the different scientific studies that have been done on all these different botanicals. You know, this kind of research has been going on for decades and even longer. So the public is not provided this information readily. You really have to know where to look and how to dig and how to decipher all of these scientific papers. So they're highly technical, but I dive into those on a regular basis. I've been doing that for several decades now. So you learn a lot about how the body works. And so once you understand the science behind what your body needs to function optimally and protect itself from succumbing to the disease process or anything abnormal, such as the tumors or cancers that can grow anywhere in the body. So I went through, this is my website actually, it's holisticchoices.com. If you go there, there's a link on the side that says the APL Product Reference Nutritional Health Guide, which is the name of the book. So what I did this evening is I went through the whole book. I did a control find, and of course I used my manuscript, the PDF file, to do a control find, a control F. And so I typed in the search word brain, and I went through every single one of the 60 botanicals in our 15 formulations. And I put, my computer found everywhere where the word brain was mentioned in my research. So when I put together what are called scientific monographs for every single botanical. So when I was writing the book, I researched every single botanical, and I dug up as many scientific studies as I possibly could. And so sometimes, though, it's great when the scientific community does that work for you. They will gather all of the different scientific studies done on a particular subject, and they will pick out, a panel of experts will pick out the most credible studies and then do a review on those studies. So sometimes they'll have to wade through, thousands. I mean, sometimes I've read, there's like 2,500 articles on one particular subject, but they go right through them all and they evaluate them and they reduce them down to a manageable number in order to evaluate whether a study is worth reporting on, whether a botanical or any kind of procedure is credible or not. So when I did the research on the book, I tried to pay attention to these peer-reviewed studies, because that saved me a lot of time having to read, study after study concerning every one of these botanicals. Just so you know that this is a highly evidence-based manual that I put together. And so I went through my own book, and this is what I did in order to answer the question of which drops would benefit the immune system so that the body can recognize and destroy some of the cancer, or assist the immune system to recognize the cancer and mobilize its forces to destroy the cancer. A lot of these botanicals I found in my research are that they are what are called secondary metabolites, and they have been shown to actually, when they're consumed, the biochemical compounds and the nutrient factors contained in the plants will actually either cause cancer cells to destroy themselves, which is called apoptosis, or they will go in and disassemble the cancer cell's ability to replicate and grow. So once the immune system is improved, a lot of these botanicals will improve the immune system and how it works, and this is done at the DNA level. So I'll explain a little bit more about that in a little bit. It's really fascinating how plants are so compatible with the human cell. Human cells and plant cells are almost identical, and I'll show you how that is so. Okay, all right, so I went through the book, and I did a control find on the word brain, and I went through the entire book again on my computer and pulled out anything that mentioned tumor or cancer, anti-cancer, anti-carcinogenic. So all those search terms I was able to pull out, and they were listed in the monographs with the scientific research and the scientific data that I installed in the monographs for each botanical. So it was a matter of just doing Control F and pulling out every single botanical whose research showed that either it would improve the brain activity or protect the brain, or also either prevent tumoral growth or allow the body to destroy the tumors, or some of these plant properties, like I said, will actually go in there and destroy the cancer cells directly or not allow them to grow. So I don't know why the medical community is not really aware of this. Well, I do know why, but that's a whole nother subject and a whole nother video. So keeping within the APL products, let's do it that way. So yes, I'm pretty sure that if you stick to the nutrient factors that are in these plants, then you won't get in trouble with the FDA or FTC or any of these other entities that do not allow nutritional supplement companies to make medical claims. So no one's making any medical claims. I'm just presenting to you the scientific research that I uncovered through months of research, and putting together the scientific information for every single one of these botanicals and all of these formulations. Okay, so keep that in mind as I go through this. So I substantiate every assertion that I make in the book with backing up by multiple scientific studies. So if you were to look in the book, you would see that at the end of every section, there are literally altogether, that whole entire book, there must be over 1,000 or maybe close to 2,000 scientific references that I post in the book. Okay, with that, having said that, I'll go ahead and show you. I think what I'll do is I'll call up the book again. This is the website, and this is one of the charts that I want to show you later. So I went ahead and I did not keep that up for some reason, but I will go ahead and do that. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to give you a much better view here. Okay, so this is the book, and I went through it, did a Control F. This is the main table of contents, and these are all the monographs that I pulled the information from in order to answer the question as to which products would I advocate, knowing which botanicals contain the anti-cancer and brain protective nutrient factors in the botanicals in these formulations. Okay, so rather than saying a formulation will have this effect on this body, on a body or someone's body, then we must always remember to refer to the botanicals themselves, because that's where the real science is. The products themselves were under consideration that they would have the products themselves tested scientifically. And I know a few other nutraceutical companies have had their products evaluated by, say, the Mayo Clinic or some credible scientific organization that is able to evaluate and conduct studies to determine whether a product itself is, will address a particular health issue, put it that way, okay? All right, so, but for now, we need to just address the botanicals themselves. So, like, say, the ALT formulation, let's go to the ALT. It's probably the ebook that I have on Amazon. You can just click on the links and it'll go right to it. So this is the hard copy for the print version of it. But on page 60, actually, let's go to page 75, because that's where I came up when I did a control find for the word brain and the tumor search terms. then that's what came up over and over again is the MLS formulation. The MLS formulation came up the most. I did an actual tally on it. And then the second one that came up the most was the BRN formulation. So that would be the brain formula. So here's the monograph that I compiled for the brain formulation. So it lists all of the different botanicals that are in the formulation, the page numbers. So let's go ahead and go to, gosh, there's so much science behind all of these formulations. I was so thrilled to find so much science behind all of these. But I want to take you over to page 82 where the turmeric root is. So here's the turmeric root right here. So here's the monograph for turmeric. And when I went through and did a control find, it was amazing how often the word brain came up and the word tumor came up in some of the research. So what I did was I took literally thousands of scientific studies, and I condensed it into the highlights and the peer-reviewed studies and what they highlighted, just to give you an idea of what these botanicals do. Their nutrient factors are phenomenal. They contain, our formulations contain 1,000 phytonutrients. And phytonutrients are the biochemical compounds that plants form when they're growing and developing, and they create their own immune systems to keep insects off of them. And so healthy plants will always have a good immune system. They take the sunlight and they convert it to energy, and they store it as energy in their cells. So there's a lot of life-giving properties in plants that are able to be transferred to us, whether it be from DNA to DNA, or the biochemical compounds that protect our immune system or act directly on our behalf to destroy pathogenic or foreign objects or organisms that are in the body, or something that might go wrong when the cell is replicating to start forming tumors or cancers. But the turmeric itself is one of the heroes in these formulations. And the turmeric does come up quite often. It is, I made a list of all of the formulations where the turmeric is listed. So it's a pan-systemic, all-around, different kind of, it does various things for the body. I'm just going to go ahead and read you a couple of things that the turmeric has to offer. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. I've done some summarizations on these for different webinars that I've done. But gosh, let's see, let's just do a control F here. Let's just go over to tumor. Oops. So here we go, it brought it up for us. So turmeric is found to hinder the development of chronic inflammation, tumors, and leukemia. And another time it appears is that the curcumin and other antioxidants in turmeric have been found to destroy cancer cell cultures taken from the bloodstream, ovaries, and the skin. Studies show curcumin reduces the growth of new blood vessels in tumors and prevents metastasis, spreading of cancerous cells. So a lot of studies have done various types of cancers, and so the mechanisms of what starts the cancer is it's not all known, but a lot of it is known. So a lot of the times that when you have a cancer, and studies have been demonstrating how turmeric works on various types of cancers in various areas of the body, they have also been found, in my experience, that they may help other areas of the body as well. All right, so let's go to another one here. Now this one is on page 89. So this one we're talking about the Asian ginseng, the Panax ginseng that's in our formulation. And that says a component of Panax ginseng's ginsenoside, there you go. Oleanolic and 3-acetate. These are biochemical compounds. There's like multiple thousands of these in all of these botanicals. So it's sometimes they're a mouthful if you don't say them regularly. Okay, so all right. So where was I? All right, so this is what's great. It was shown to induce apoptosis or self-destruction. So this particular group of biochemical compounds, the ginsenosides, are known to destroy cancer cells all on their own. So they'll be circulating in the body, and they will be recognizing their DNA is read by our DNA, and they collaborate, and they determine that this type of growth is abnormal. So the biochemical compounds will go ahead and assist the immune system to cause the cancer cell to self-destruct. It also says they're talking about ovarian cancers, endothelial cancers, and they suppress the growth of tumor cells in laboratory mice imposed with compromised immune system. And a lot of cancers are because of the confused immune system or any compromised immune system. This is page 91. I believe it's still part of this is still the ginseng. Let's go back to when we were here. Don't know where I dropped off. That's the ginseng. Okay, so that's still part of the ginseng. So the ginseng also has antiviral, anti-angiogenic, which helps prevent the formation of new abnormal blood cells, such as tumors. It's also an effective antioxidant against free radical cellular damage. So any foreign cells that don't belong there, pollutants, synthetics, the immune system gone awry, and cells forming that are abnormal and forming tumors and cancers and growths, then it is known to be effective to neutralize those types of molecules so that they do not do any more damage in the body. Okay, let's see, page 103. Now we're talking about the ashwagandha. Studies indicate ashwagandha's capacity to protect against gastric ulcers, and it has an anti-tumor effect on lung and ovary cancer cells. So there's a wide variety of cancer problems that a lot of these botanical nutrient factors can help the body resolve. Withania has been found to help control uterine fibroids and dermatosarcoma, cancers that occur in the deep layers of the skin. So all these different types of cancers that are forming in various areas of the body, there's no reason why it could not be applicable to any type of cancer throughout the body, because it's going to help your immune system recognize that there are abnormal growths occurring in the body. Then it would be an educated, informed choice to give it a try, because these are foods. Don't forget, they are not drugs. They do not act directly on any particular cellular action. What they do is they go into the cells and they repair the mechanisms that are going wrong in the body. So this is what's so great about food, because it has all this huge array of all these various vitamins and minerals and enzymes and a variety of these wonderful phytonutrients that go in and cleanse and detoxify and help the immune system improve itself and improve the function of any damaged cell in any body system. So these are pretty amazing. And the more of these wonderful botanicals you have in your daily intake, then the healthier you will be, because eventually, since the body recognizes these wonderful molecules as the perfect thing that it needs to repair anything that goes wrong at any given moment, then these are perfectly safe. Then it goes on to the balsam pear. And so, and these are different formulations. Obviously, they're not all. We started out with the first formulation, which was the ALT, but I just went through the whole entire book and took out anything that mentioned tumors. And I made a list of the botanicals that contain these properties. Okay, so rather than go through the whole book again with you, let me go ahead and get out of that. Okay, so now this is a chart that's in my book. one of the many wonderful quick reference charts that you can use to see which botanical is in which formulation. So I listed several ways. There's a few other charts in the book that are quick references depending on what you want to find quickly. So I just listed all of the ingredients and all of the formulations in this particular one. And these links are obviously not there in the hard copy, but they are in the Amazon ebook copy. So you can click on any one of these and it'll take you to information about any particular thing in the formulations. So that's just an aside. So what I did was, after I tallied everything, I just made a chart, and I found all of the botanicals that listed anything having to do with improving the brain function or protecting the functioning of the brain. Then I went through the same thing, and I did another search on the word tumor and the word anti-carcinogenic and also cancer. So I came up with these botanicals of those monographs where it mentions those words. So then I got a better idea what formulations contain the botanicals that address these two systems in the body, or the immune system on one and the brain on the other. So it has to do with blood vessels, it has to do with the immune system, all these different systems that assist in helping the body go back to its proper balance and its proper homeostasis, and getting rid of all pathogenic or abnormal growths that are in the body. So once I had a view of all the different formulations and all the different botanicals in there, then it was just a matter of tallying it up. And as a practitioner of 40 years in researching botanicals and introducing botanicals to my clients and having them try them and witnessing their health transformations, this is nothing new, so it doesn't surprise me in the least that any of these botanicals that are contained in these drops may help your body, resolve the problem itself. The body's an amazing thing. Once you give it the right molecules, it will go to work and make things right, And it's just a matter of which botanical and which nutrient factor it needs at any particular moment. So it's good to stay highly nourished at all times. The diet, staying hydrated properly, and so taking the right supplements. And the APL supplements are, I think, one of just a handful of supplements in the whole world that I have come across in the 40 years I've been researching and evaluating supplements that are truly, effective. It has to do with the technology as well that enhances their effectiveness, because supplements are pretty effective, but these drops are highly effective because of how they're absorbed and the molecular information that's retained from the plant cells in these botanicals that is so useful for our cells to use. It's just the exact right information that it needs right away to repair itself and correct and resolve issues. So anyhow, after telling them up, I came up with the MLS formulation has 14 occurrences of the words brain, tumor, anti-carcinogenic, and cancer. So these botanicals are mentioned that many times in MLS and their properties, So then the second one that came up was BRN, and that was, there were 11 instances where it mentioned the biochemical properties of certain botanicals in that formulation that will address brain issues and immune system, issues that end up as abnormal growth in the body. Then the third one that came in was slide, so that was mentioned 8 times, and the STP was mentioned 7. Everything else was mentioned, 6, 4, 5 times. And so if I were to want to try something, if I had such an ailment going on in my body, I would definitely try the MLS and the BRN, the SLD and the STP, because life is very precious, and you want to put in the exact right molecules in your body so it will know what to do and how to repair anything that might go wrong. So as Linus Pauling, two-time Nobel Peace Prize winner, said, he said that 99.9% of all health problems are due to some kind of nutrient deficiency. And I have found that to be true. And I always produced evidence-based protocols for my clients. And when I presented them with the evidence and they decided to try these different botanicals that the research showed would help their bodies improve their ailments, and lo and behold, the actual real-life experiences of my clients matched the science every single time. And every single time in those 30 years that I had my practice, which I retired 10 years ago, it never ceased to amaze me how amazing the human body is once it's given the right information. Okay, so before I close, I would love to show you my slideshow. I do many PowerPoint presentations, and I do many presentations either live or I produce them and put them. I make videos and I upload them to my YouTube channel, which is Mary Esther Gilbert. I have a series of health improvement, health transformation videos that I'm producing and uploading to my channel. I also have an APL Talk channel with nothing but APL in it, videos discussing APL. There's interviews. I do a question and answer. I go over the products individually. And so there's many videos that I produce on the APL products that you might want to go to. And it's APL Talk, ! Make sure you put that exclamation mark at the end of the words APL Talk when you search on YouTube. Otherwise, you'll get a sports channel, I think, on soccer, which is in Afghanistan or something. It's very amazing that someone on the other side of the world decided to call their YouTube channel APL Talk as well. Of course, the APL means something different to them, but here it's APL Talk, ! And or you can go to my other YouTube channel, Mary Esther Gilbert, and learn a whole lot about how your body works and about how the drops work on both channels there. But on this slideshow, before I close here, I wanted to show you how amazing these drops really are. So I have a whole other video on this show, but I wanted to show you these couple of pages on why APL drops are so astonishingly effective. So plant cell components, as you see here on this side, they consist of the same inner organs, or also called organelles, as the human cells do. Our human cells are shaped differently depending on which body system that compose our body system. So bone cells are going to look completely different than nerve cells versus kidney cells or liver cells or blood cells, things like that. So, but all the same, they all contain the protein manufacturing sites, the glucose manufacturing sites, and the fatty acids. So our body breaks everything down to the minute component of the basic nutrients, and they pass through this gelatinous cell membrane. And those membranes have specific readout sites. So these receptor sites that sit along the whole entire membrane outside will not allow anything into the cell that doesn't belong there, that is not of self, quote unquote. So science calls it self. So the body, if it does not recognize something that belongs to self, then it will reject it. And then there's an elimination, detoxification issue and inflammatory issues that pop up if you do not put the right thing in your body and it's not absorbable and utilizable to rebuild new cells and to create new body proteins and to improve how the immune system is working and hormones and all these different proteins. Our body is mostly protein, so it's important to take in enough dietary protein to provide for all of your protein needs. And that's another subject entirely that people need to understand about. But for now, let me go ahead and show you the comparison between a plant cell structure. Now, inside every living cell is the genetic code known as the DNA or the double helix. So in that genetic code is all of the instructions on how either the plant or the animal or the human is supposed to function. And if that gets damaged, if any of our cells get damaged from the outside and it starts disassembling and just damaging all of these components that are inside of the cells, then we will have a system malfunctioning if that occurs too much for too long a period of time. The outer membrane of the plants, of course, is the fiber, which is good for us too, and that prevents some digestive disorders as well. But all of the information, the protein manufacturing instructions, and the fatty acids and the carbohydrates kinds of things that the body builds up or reduces down to their most basic levels, then the body's always interchanging and repurposing and things like that in cells. The inside world of the cells of plants will do the same exact thing. So the genetic code of plants is very, very similar to our genetic code. This is why it's so important for us to take in plant cells, because if we do not take in that information that our bodies are striving for, are searching for every moment of our lives to do its repair work and reproductive work and things like that. So we want to take in as many plant foods so that our DNA can read the information of plant DNA and use some of those genetic code sequences to do the repair work in our own DNA. And that's what's so amazing. Here's an example of if you lay out our genetic code and just look at all the genes that are on the double helix, then you will see a lot of similarities in plants compared to human. This particular genome that was laid out and compared our DNA with was a plant from the watercress family. And this is just one plant, mind you, so a variety of plants have different genetic sequences, of course. So our bodies can pick and choose what we need, what sequences we need to repair our own sequences of genes that might have gotten disrupted or damaged. So if you were to take the guanine, cytosine, tyrosine, and adenine genes, and you compare it to the crest, you can see that there are some exact genes in there that our bodies might be able to use. So if our human cytochrome, our genes are damaged, then if we take in this particular plant, our bodies can read that information and splice it in to restore the functioning of our own cells. That's what's so amazing about plants. This is an electron micrograph of actual plant cells, and this one is doesn't say what plant it is, but you'll see again the DNA is right there in the plant, and the DNA right there in this particular mammal, which is a mouse. So we are mammals as well, so our cells look very, very similar to that, other than what's in the genetic code, of course. So all of these protein manufacturing sites and all of these other immune system functions that are in the cell, we also have in our mammal DNA and inside of our cells. All right, so that's pretty much it. I hope I answered the question. I would definitely say the MLS and the BRN come up at the most as far as the research showing that these plants will help the body protect your brain and improve its functioning, or to destroy cancer cells, or help the immune system destroy the cancer cells, or arrest their growth and totally disassemble them. Okay, so again, one supplement is not going to be the be-all and end-all for your nutritional needs and your nutritional health needs, your immune system, things like that. All your body systems require a full range of nutrients, a full range of vitamins and minerals from whole foods. You don't want synthetic vitamins or vitamins that are not absorbable, or minerals that are not absorbable from certain supplements that are out there. So I've been evaluating and teaching about how to select the right supplements for many years. Just one quick lesson so you can take away with you. So how do you choose the best supplement? Make sure that the ingredients are derived from organically grown whole food complexes. Make sure that those whole food complexes are still intact during the manufacturing process. So you do have to call these companies and ask these questions. Sometimes they'll volunteer it in their literature because they're so proud of their formulations, like APL does. APL is very open about and very proud of all of the different certifications and awards that it has been granted in over 60 countries. So there's a lot to be proud of, and a lot of they're just open about everything. So I call the APL drops the quintessential nutritional supplement because they start out in nutrient-rich soils, and they're harvested at the right time of day, and the whole process of getting the plant materials to the facility for the manufacturing of the drops. The nutrients are preserved very, very carefully. It's easy to digest. A lot of people can't take a lot of large tablets. They don't want to stir in powder that they say don't taste good, and they'll probably never get around to doing it. They'll buy it and they'll never do it, right? So we don't have to worry about that with the drops. Most supplements, no matter how good they are, and I've analyzed countless supplements over the 40 years, they're still not 100% absorbable because they have to go through this slow digestive process, and it's a matter of breaking down those molecules and down to their finest components. And when they arrive at the cell membranes via the circulatory system, then they may or may not be intact, or they may not be that absorbable depending on the ingredients again. But with the drops, they're always 100% absorbable. They go right into the mouth. They go right through the mucosal cell membranes in the mouth, and they enter the bloodstream, so you bypass the digestive system. And so the circulatory system will send those nutrient factors straight to where it's needed the most. When you choose a supplement, make sure that they have an impeccable production process from beginning to end. No outsourcing, or at least the supplier holds the highest of certifications of excellence. Materials are produced in organic, nutrient-rich living soils. I already mentioned that. Harvested at peak potency, unpolluted, uncontaminated soils, nourished soils, replenished soils, organic seeds, non-toxic, organic environments. And in the formulation process, the technology all the way to the end product having consistent potencies. So a lot of times companies will post notices saying that the colors will vary, and depending on what their source products were like at the beginning of the manufacturing process. So with our APL products, we look at every single the quality and the potency and the consistency at every step. So your supplements should come from a company that has achieved the highest certifications in production and product excellence, and they must possess a heightened company climate, inspiring message consisting of elements such as purpose, care, and mission on the part of its owners, CEOs, and the staff. So you've got a real winner here when you take a supplement you want to evaluate through this process. All right, so I will stop there, and whoever you share this with, make sure that the person will purchase the products from whomever shared the link with them. Make sure, if you're an associate, to share your link that's in your back office so that you will get the proper credit for referring a person who is in desperate need, oftentimes, to find answers. And when they're scared like that, it's hard to focus. People who love them, they'll go out and do their own research, but they don't usually know how to research. So you have to understand that the real science lies in the legitimate scientific studies that are archived in legitimate websites. Okay, so anything other than that, they will be led off in many directions, and they will not get the help that they need right away. So nourishing the body properly, hydrating properly, get plenty of rest, manage your stress, all those things that come together to make a healthy human being is extremely important to prevent the disease process. But if you do become victimized, then you have to know a lot about these different botanicals that are in the world that have already been tested and retested over and over again for many years to provide the body with what it needs to get rid of or resolve whatever issue that comes about. Okay, again, this is Mary Esther Gilbert. Thank you for being here, and best wishes, best of health to everyone. Thank you. Oh, be sure and like, share, and subscribe, and tap the notification bell so that you can get word about other videos that I'm producing on a regular basis now on various subjects that come up when people have questions. So good night. Thank you.